Coming up, we'll have highlights from the first day of the 2019 Prescription Drug and Heroin Summit in Atlanta. And the clock is ticking down to the primary election in the Kentucky governor's race. We'll hear from some of the candidates. And the fallout from the recently released Mueller report continues as Congress digs deeper into the findings, and a former White House lawyer is called to testify.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. The time is about 6:30. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast, and let's pass along some good news. Kentucky 15 there in Isom, we just heard, was now open.
Absolutely. Just got off the phone with state police, and they just confirmed that Highway 15, where the train derailment was, is back open. If you didn't know where that area was, take a look at the graphic here. Basically right there at the intersection of Highway 7 and Highway 15 at Isom near Breedings Plumbing and Electric and across from Collins Marathon. But that road is back open. Everything is in good shape this morning. Let's go on over to our cameras this morning. We'll go to Jenkins first, US 119, US 23 as it starts to get daylight there. And it's not too much traffic moving along there this morning yet, but it will be. UVA-wise starting to get into the daylight mode here from nighttime on the camera. But again, you can see just a few clouds over that way this morning. Satellite radar showing a few of those clouds as well. Not a whole lot of activity going on. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s depending on where you are. Ridge tops are warmer than the valleys. The valleys, most locations in those mid to upper 40s this morning. So a normal day on the coffee meter. If you're on the ridges, close to iced coffee there, especially up there at Jackson. The headlines for today, though, a warm day ahead, but more clouds will start to move in later, and then those scattered rain chances return as early as tonight. I'll have the rest of the forecast in just a few minutes. Connor?
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, day one of the Prescription Drug Addiction and Heroin Summit wrapped up last night in Atlanta. WYMT's Will Puckett has a recap of Monday's events.
2019 marks the 8th Prescription Drug Abuse and Heroin Summit. This year's summit, the heat has been turned up a little bit after a several state opioid task force bust. For Congressman Hal Rogers, this has been a project long in the making.
They keep getting bigger and bigger. We're sold out. We'll have around 4,000 people from all states, several countries.
This year's summit comes on the heels of a massive multi-state opioid bust just last week.
There are a lot of people who need to be held accountable for their actions. There are a lot of people who are hurting our communities.
Congressman Rogers believes the bust set up the summit's topic perfectly.
Yes, that was ironic that took place just before this summit.
But for Unite President and CEO Nancy Hale, this summit is a perfect opportunity to flip the narrative and get people thinking of how to stop the rising numbers.
I think that's what people see here at the summit. They're here for a purpose, whether it's law enforcement professional, whether it's a personal reason. They're here to find a solution and to be a part of the solution.
Tuesday and Wednesday from dusk until dawn are many sessions that we will cover over the next several days. All of it is building up to Wednesday's speech by President Trump. It'll be the third year in a row that a sitting or former U.S. president has spoke at the summit. In Atlanta, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
We'll have more coverage from the summit later today, right here on WYMT. And a man and woman are in jail this morning in Ashland, likely wishing they would have kept their dog in a pen or on a leash. Sherry Fry says late Easter Sunday night, her next-door neighbor's pit bull attacked her cat on her front porch. She called police, who responded and found a man at the home. Franklin Certain, he had a warrant for his arrest. When police tried to arrest Certain, he assaulted them, leading to a search of the home. Inside, officers found $243,000 worth of meth.
To get this significant amount off the street and get it into our hands and out of the individuals that are using this to poison our community, this is fantastic.
Certain and another person inside the home, Ricky Wirtz, were taken into custody. They faced a host of charges. And here in the mountain, those with addiction recovery care are helping people get off drugs. People come from all across the country to facilities in Louisa. They go to rehab and get help finding a job. Once they're clean, Pam Chacamalo is one of those people. She came from Illinois to start recovering back in 2017. Pam started living on the streets when she was 13, the same age as when she first got high. She came to Karen's Place, a women's rehab center.
I was considered a junkie. I was going to probably die being a junkie the rest of my life. I was nothing. I was never going to amount to be nothing. But when I came out here, it changed my whole life. I know I have a purpose.
There's something greater than yourself, and it's not just you, and that you have a power to tap into to help you get through those things is extremely important for people in recovery.
Pam now shares her story to inspire others and help pregnant women who are addicted. Those with Addiction Recovery Center want others to know there's help out there. And 2 Claiborne County businesses are cleaning up this morning after being broken into early yesterday. It happened at Hemp Solutions and the Gigglin' Pig in Tazewell. This man, Craig Goins, was charged in connection with the case. Tom Shepard, who owns both stores, took to Facebook Live to share the story of what happened.
They came into the restaurant, they damaged the restaurant, they damaged the CBD place. Now we're trying to fix doors, trying to fix everything, trying to get everything up and running, but I just wanted everybody to go on or come on and tell everybody we did find the person, we got everything, almost everything back.
Shepard says the restaurant will be back open today. Police are still searching for 3 pounds of CBD flowers. And new this morning, crews in Laurel County are responded to a serious crash last night. It happened around 8:40 near the intersection of West Laurel Road and Parker Road near London. At least 2 cars were involved and at least 1 person was cut from one of the vehicles. Now, we do not know how many people were injured or their conditions at this time. And in political news, Monday was the last day to register for the May primary. There are several big state races on the ballot, including the race for governor. 8 men are in the race, 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats. The Democrats are Attorney General Andy Beshear, House Minority Leader Rocky Atkins, former State Auditor Adam Edlin, and Geoff Young.
You know, I'm a moderate, middle-of-the-road, common-sense candidate in this race.
In this environment, people are so hungry for something new and different. I think we're the campaign that is the most new, it is the most different.
On the Republican side, Governor Matt Bevin is facing a challenge from State Representative Robert Goforth, William Woods, and Ike Lawrence. And a former coal company owner from Letcher County will spend time behind bars and pay more than $200,000 for his role in a fraud case. Our news partners at the Lexington Herald Leader report 63-year-old Harry Taylor and his wife, 64-year-old Betty Taylor, were recently sentenced to more than 2 years in prison. Officials say the Taylors owned Cobra No. 1 coal company, but transferred it to their daughter, then began receiving disability payments. A federal grand jury found that they continued getting significant income from the coal company and also had other assets that would have disqualified them from getting disability checks. They were convicted of mail and wire fraud, stealing government money, and other charges. And in his report last week, Special Counsel Robert Mueller laid out 10 incidents where President Trump may have obstructed justice, but he left it up to Congress to decide what to do about it. CBS's Tom Hansen reports Democratic presidential candidates are now weighing in.
As Democrats debate impeachment in the wake of the Mueller report, President Trump, while at the White House Easter celebration, said he's not worried. At a CNN town hall last night,
Congress should take the steps towards impeachment.
Democratic presidential candidates were split.
Going right into the heart of the election, all that the Congress is talking about is impeaching Trump and Trump and Mueller. What I worry about is that works to Trump's advantage.
Meanwhile, House Democrats are moving forward with their own investigations, and Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants her party to let those play out, writing, "The facts regarding holding the president accountable can be gained outside of impeachment hearings." Yesterday, Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler issued the latest subpoena, this one for former White House counsel Don McGahn, to ask him about President Trump's alleged attempts to stop the special counsel's investigation. According to the report, though, McGahn refused the president's request.
Nobody disobeys my orders.
President Trump pushed back against those claims, and many of his Republican allies in Congress say it's time for Democrats to move on.
That they're not more worried about what's in the report, they're more worried about actually scoring political points and taking something that this is not anymore.
The subpoena to McGahn orders him to testify before the House Judiciary Committee on May 21st. Tom Hansen, CBS News.
Another investigation by Democrats to gain access to the president's financial records hit a roadblock yesterday. Lawyers for President Trump filed a lawsuit to block a subpoena by the House Oversight Committee. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is putting a squeeze on countries still importing Iranian oil, saying they will soon be subject to U.S. sanctions. Officials say the waivers given to 8 countries expire on May 2nd, and that the goal is to deprive Iran of the funds it's using to destabilize the Middle East and further its nuclear program. And in other political news, former Vice President Joe Biden is expected to formally join the 2020 presidential race this week. The format and date of the announcement is still in flux, but those close to him say even though he's pushed his own deadline back a few times, he's ready to make it official. Biden began his political career in 1972 after winning a seat in the Senate at 29 years old. Now let's check in with Brandon for a look at your forecast.
Well, this morning starting off very nice, a little chilly in some spots, or let's say cool, a little cool in some spots in the 40s, but a nice sunrise. Getting ready to come over the hillside here in Hazard outside the WYMT studios this morning. Mountain Parkway, not too much traffic yet, but maybe just a few clouds hovering around in some locations. I think we'll see a lot of sunshine early today, and that will warm those temperatures up quickly. Already 61, Richmond 60, Lexington, but 50s on the ridge tops there. Jackson, Prestonsburg, and Pikeville in the 40s. Getting a little warmer down toward Williamsburg now at 50. They were in the 40s a little while ago. Temperatures across the state warming up, already 60s in a lot of locations, and we're going to continue to see that trend today. As you head out the door this morning, you are going to see temperatures climb into the 80s this afternoon. Could be low 80s in some, or for some, then could be mid 80s for others, but we'll keep an eye on that and enjoy the rest of the day. Connor?
All right, thanks, Brandon. We will have stories trending on WYMT.com next. Thanks for joining us on Mountain News this morning. And later, how one organization of first responders is doing their part to give back to the community.